What's happening, Black Nation? It's Nutritionist Rob with Black Women Obesity TV. And I'm going to keep trying to pump these videos out. And I get you guys the information that you need, that we need as black people to help with this situation with our weight and our children's health. It's not a good situation. So I'm here to help. So today we're going to get right to the point. And I want to start telling you what they are putting in our foods. And one of the most important facts I want everybody to know, I always stress, is that the food industry is working on a whole different level, and we don't even understand what's going on with these people. The food industry wants us to believe that their man-made processed foods do not make us sick and overweight. That's what they want you to believe. And that's what we do. We don't believe that at all. The food industry, they are liars. They're pathological liars. And I'm going to show you exactly why they're lying, how they lie, and how they're laughing right in our faces. Okay? So the first one we're going to talk about, and this is not even the worst one in our foods. And you guys have seen this in your foods before. It's called high fructose corn syrup. You see it? High fructose corn syrup. It sounds like it's good, isn't it? It's high in fructose, and most of us think that fructose comes from fruit, right? And you got the word corn. We all know corn. And then you got syrup. So when you see it in the foods, or you don't see it in the foods, I'll point them out to you, we think that's just okay. Because remember, we think that the government protects us from injecting poisons in our food. We think that they protect us. And I'm trying to tell you that they don't. So we have to get comfortable investigating the origins and the ingredients of these processed foods. And that's what we're going to do on this channel again. So back to high fructose corn syrup. The first thing I want everybody to understand and know is that high fructose corn syrup is not found in nature. I'm going to say it again. It is not found in nature. We produce this in laboratories. That's significant. So I'm telling you, Black Nation, that this is not found in nature. And now you have no excuses for not looking, because it's a chemical that harms our health. And we're going to get into that later on in other videos, next video. Where does it come from? It actually is manufactured. It's from cheap corn. Not the corn that you get in the stores. It's not that corn. It's cheap leftover corn that has been chemically altered. The reason why they produce this stuff is because it's cheap. It's much more sweet than regular sugar. And it keeps the foods on the shelf longer. So it's sweeter than sugar, much sweeter than sugar, and it's cheap, much cheaper than regular sugar. We all with you? You with me? So it was actually introduced in the 1960s in Japan. That's very interesting, because I talked to you in other videos about the end of Jim Crow, which is 1964. In 1964, that was the end of Jim Crow. And so I tell you, just because we can walk around and go to Walmart, we think everything's okay. No, they re-enslaved us, and they just put everything under the table. And they started injecting these poisons and putting it in our neighborhoods. This is high fructose corn syrup. in the 1960s. It was introduced into the food system in the 1970s. That's when I was a kid. But in the beginning, the candy and stuff were just plain sugar. And they started again introducing this in the 1970s. In 1984, Coke and Pepsi started the transfer from sugar to high fructose corn syrup. So remember, the public doesn't know anything about this. The government allows them to do whatever they want. I tell you this all the time. So now in the 1980s, guess what happens? Obesity begins to skyrocket. Now, when I was young in the 70s, in school, middle school, high school, no one was overweight. You had to have one or two kids in the whole school that was overweight. Unbelievable. Now, after 1984, obesity skyrockets in the 1980s, and mostly in the black community and Hispanic community, mostly. But it just went out of control in both of those communities. You see, black people react very violently to these chemicals. I'm just talking about black people and our kids are reacting very violently to these chemicals in the foods. And so we're going to start getting into diabetes and all that other stuff in which this stuff is creating. But I just want to introduce you this so that I want you guys to start looking for this stuff in your pantry and your refrigerator. Now listen. The food industry gets our entertainers and our athletes, black athletes, entertainers, to endorse the products that have this in there. They don't even know what's going on. It's ignorance. They're harming our children. They're harming our health. You just don't believe that. We don't believe that. High fructose corn syrup is not food. It comes from laboratories. Now listen to this. This is even more troubling. Because they use cheap corn to make this stuff, the government, your government, federal government, subsidizes the farmers. So they give the farmers money out of your tax dollars. Are you with me? They give your tax dollars, the people that you like, and gives it to the farmers to produce this corn so they can make high fructose corn syrup at a cheap price. That's what's going on. So these chemicals that they're making come out of your tax dollars. Hello? We just don't understand what we're dealing with here. You just don't get sick for no reason. They are pathological liars. Everything is deception. They've developed their own language on the ingredients. It's their own language. Nobody knows what's in back on these ingredients. Nobody knows it. We're going to start looking at it. But the first one you want to look at in your pantry, in your refrigerator, is high fructose corn syrup. They prey on our children for their own financial gains. This stuff's in everything. And if you stop eating it, your health is going to change, especially our kids. Lastly, you got to understand that the food industry does not operate with the same value system as we do. These people are not your friends. They want you to believe that this is food. Your perception of what a food really is. We don't even really know what a food really is anymore. They changed our beliefs and perception of what food is. You think Doritos and potato chips, you think that's food. We think that's food. So now all I want you to do is take your phone and look up high fructose corn syrup. Just put in, you go to your computer and type dangers of high fructose corn syrup and start researching this stuff. Feeling comfortable exposing these people to what they're doing to our health. So on the next video, I'm going to get into what exactly does this stuff do to our health and our children. I'm going to show you exactly what it does. And this ingredient is not even the worst one. This is just one of which ones I'm going to be talking about. But this one is the easiest one for you to look in your pantry, in your refrigerator. It's all over the fast foods. I would love to talk with you guys, anyone in this country, about what's going on. If you have children that have behavior problems, and you need some help, make an appointment with me. I'd love to talk to you. I'll talk to you about anything. Because I love our people and I care about our people. So, everyone, enjoy your blessings. We're going to be getting more in depth in high fructose corn syrup on the next video. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.